time to talk.
It's time to talk.
It's time to talk.
It's time to talk.
We're in South Florida. The air is thick. The track is slick. The stakes are rising as we roll into round 4 of the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series here at Homestead Miami Speedway. 130 grueling laps around the 1.5-mile intermediate track. So glad you could join us here on Green Flag TV. Marty Scala with you alongside Sheldon Atkins, Dustin Allis working in mission control. So Dustin, championship momentum starting to take shape here. We're 3 rounds in the books, and now the contenders are starting to separate themselves from the pretenders. How do you see this race possibly going tonight for those drivers that are in the back possibly?
Well, this right here is an opportunity for a lot of guys to just kind of have a business as usual night. You know, we've seen a lot of surprise and I dare to say upset winners to start the season off here with, you know, all 3 of your big winners this season, you know, only leading maybe a lap or 2 before scoring the victory. You know, tonight, Homestead's the place where you got to put the whole deal together. You got to be great from start to finish. I feel like tonight we're going to finally start to see the guys that are going to be big swingers in this championship fight start to carve a path for their own.
The schedule so far in Season 7, 3 races, 3 winners on the year. Josh Grosso, Corey Crowell, and Dominic Barbagallo. They are your top 3 in standings coming on into the night. You look at the point standings coming on in, you see Grosso with just about a 7-point lead on Barbagallo coming in. Nice battle for third between Crowell and Fleck. And then behind them, it's Angel Hernandez and Wyatt Walker in a tight race for 5th. And a fun race for 7th as well. Caleb McKinney, Chance Manny, Jonathan Nance, and Brandon Bogaski. Keep an eye on some of those drivers outside the top 5. A big race for them could propel them up into that big spot in points.
Absolutely. And it's just going to be a lot of great racing we're going to see here tonight, too. You know, Homestead multi-groove. Pretty much anywhere you can get the car to stick, you can make viable. Lots of options for these drivers. And 100% of drivers track, and on top of it, this is a track where they're really going to be on edge when it comes to grip, because it's a very low grip, high abrasion track. So these tires are going to get chewed through real quick, and if you're a little too quick to that throttle pedal, it's going to come around and bite you quicker than you can bat an eye, because this place is loose coming out of the corners.
This is a track that has not seen a repave since the 2000s or a reconfiguration when they increased the banking or added progressive banking to this racetrack that added, like you mentioned, multiple lines. We'll see where it helps out for some drivers in particular, where they like with their setup. Will they like the top or the bottom? We'll just have to see. Tonight's racing brought to you by our friends at Admin Box, a purpose-built hardware tool designed to simplify race control for iRacing League admins. Rather than typing commands or relying on complex key bindings, Admin Box offers a physical button box that connects via USB with pre-programmed commands tailored specifically for race management tasks. Its buttons feature LED backlighting for easy visibility, making it ideal for fast-paced and high-pressure race environments. Go on over to www.adminbox.com. That's adminboxx.com. When purchasing, use the code MARS-BOX, BOXX, for 10% off all orders. And by 4 Mile Media and Design, providing professional creative services tailored to the racing community, such as custom paint schemes and graphics, race winner overlays and event graphics, and video clipping and editing. At 4 Mile, we make your racing moments look as sharp off the track as they do on it. Go on over to 4mile.net, that's for the number 4mile.net, and check them out and use the code MARS15, MARS15, for a discount. Well, 24 drivers on the entry list here this evening for round number 4. Qualifying just about a minute left to go, waiting on 3 drivers to qualify if they do decide to make their way on the track. Chance Manning just wrapped up his lap at a 32.85. Angel Hernandez the quickest, though, at a 32.60. Well, we broke down this track just moments ago here, probably just broke down, we just broke it down moments ago here, Sheldon. 1.5 mile oval, high banking. You can go either high, get that feeling of a dirt track, or try and get the grip on the bottom. All really depends on corner entry and corner exit at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that's notable here, too, is neither one of these corners drives anywhere remotely similar. 1 and 2, you got a big bump in the center. It was not really a bump so much as it is, just a crest. Car would get really tight in the center, 1 and 2, but in 3 and 4, the banking kind of falls away in the middle of the track. There's a dip there from the tunnel. Get down to 3 and 4, and you got just a little bit too much throttle to it. It's just going to want to spin out from under you. And you get up higher to the track, bumps are a little more aggressive up there. You got to kind of tiptoe around those. It's anyone's guess what's going to work best with the car tonight.
Qualifying has wrapped up. Let's take a look at your starting lineup for tonight. Angel Hernandez, like I mentioned, on pole at 32.603. Next to him, Joshua Grosso in the number 1. Row number 2, Caleb McKinney in the 76, next to Wesley Triplett in the 74. The third row has Chance Manning, the 54, Ryan Fleck in the 9. And in row number 4, you've got the 10 of Matt Forns and the 2 of Corey Crowell. Rounding out the top 10 this evening, Nicholas Ammons in the 20 and Austin Collins in the 3. Sheldon?
Rolling off the grid in 11th place is the 99 machine of Dennis Kane with Brandon Bogowski up top in the 12. 13th place on the grid is going to be the 18 machine of Brian White with Joshua Neal in 14th. 15th place, White Walker sharing the row with Wesley Peebles. 17th place is going to be Jonathan Nance with Michael Smith in the 45 machine. Rolling off the grid 19th is going to be Wayne Garland with Justin Barkley running up the top 20.
21st is Nicholas Barton. 22nd is Michael Gervey. 23rd on the grid this evening is actually 22 drivers qualifying. So the rest of the drivers set here via iRating. And 23rd of the lineup is Brandon Puffenbarger in the 5. John Walker in the 94 starts 24th. And Shane Griffin 25th in car number 4. Field is all gridded, set for 1 pace lap around Homestead Miami Speedway, the home of this year's NASCAR Championship, first championship race it hosts since 2019. Race analysis for this evening, 130 laps around Homestead Miami with the stage break coming at lap 40. Pit road speed 50 miles an hour, 4 sets of tires the drivers have, so once they take the green they'll have 3 sets remaining. The fuel window to keep in mind here as well, Sheldon, because we end at lap 40, 36 to 39 laps. That could provide a test for drivers if they go for it or if they save fuel.
I think you're going to see a lot of fuel saving here these first handful of laps, guys, just trying to make it to the end. Another cool thing to note, though, we were talking about the reconfiguration in 2003 that gave this track its racing characteristics. Do you remember what this place was like before the second configuration when they first laid ground?
It was a mini version of the Brickyard, basically.
And obviously changed for glaring safety issues that they had. But this place has been through a bunch of different identities. But this multi-groove layout is definitely the one that's lasted the longest.
Well, we are set to go. iRacing pace car, ready to make the left-hand turn to pit road as we say. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? It's showtime in the 305.
One wheel spin already for Hernandez.
Big tire spin for the 42. This gives Josh Grosso the early lead. Caleb McKinney back in the second spot. 3 wide meanwhile, mid-pack. Here comes the 74 triplet trying to get the edge, but it's now a drag race down the back chute for the top spot. Grosso and McKinney looking for the lead going into 3. Grosso leads the opening lap of the line, but McKinney fighting back on the outside. Corner exit, corner entry, you want to be on the bottom. Corner exit, the top is the place to go, but you don't really want to underdrive off of turn number 2. Don't want to have that car acting tight. McKinney gets to slide up there with that little slide job on Grosso, able to clear. Now here comes Triplett looking underneath. Can he pull up to the corner panel of Grosso for a second? Can't really do anything there. First driver upstairs, though, here, Sheldon. Ryan Fleck of the 9 started 6th, already up to 4th.
Yeah, working his way through, making quick work on the restart, just being opportunistic. 9 machine of Fleck, so good last week. And really showing that he's shining, especially on these mile and a halves, because if memory serves, he ran really strong at Las Vegas a handful of weeks ago. You see him on the outside line now, getting past his teammate, 74 machine of Triplett. And Triplett also, we didn't mention it in the pre-race. One or two guys that are really having to mind their P's and Q's here this week. After the finish last week at Phoenix, we got 2 guys on probation. Him as well as Manning, who we see right off the camera there. Going to have to be a little more polite and courteous here than they have been in weeks past.
Fleck getting the spot, his teammate Triplett allowing him to go past. So now we'll see where things go from here on out with the 2 teammates out of dummy racing. With McKinney out in front with the early lead, Grosso in 2nd. We've got some good battles here mid-pack. This is the race you're seeing on screen. He stopped for 16th. That's the 82 of Josh Neal. 71, Wyatt Walker.
Real question gotta be asking.
It's a 3-car battle. Go ahead.
The real question I gotta be asking right now too is, I know it's really early in, but we were talking about the fuel window being so close here tonight. Where is the first guy saving at?
Yeah, it's really definitely such a good question. I think the way you could look at it at the moment, I feel like, in my opinion, Sheldon, you want to get your car in a good spot early. Then I think you start to consider saving fuel, probably somewhere around maybe the halfway mark. If not, you're saving about 10 laps in.
Well, I think I got a good optic on who it might be. I've been watching the dash lights on all these guys as they work into the corners. First guy that I've seen in 5th gear and riding a little bit of clutch is the 10 machine of Matt Forns. Has not shifted down to 4th since we dropped the green flag. Just hanging in there in that 10 machine. And you see right there on the metric, still got him locked up in 5th gear. If you look through a couple cars ahead, everybody's running 4th. I think that's where the first guy that's going to be good to make it to the end is going to be.
Of course, with the 5-gear next-gen race cars, very easy to downshift down to the 4th gear to try and get some traction on corner exit. Here's Fleck once again. He's been cooking early in this one after starting from the 6th position. Underneath, looking for a second, had a slight advantage. The leader, though, Caleb McKinney in the wall, and now it's a triple threat match for the race lead into turn 1.
And if you're McKinney, you got to be so careful here right now. With these guys getting huge runs coming up to you in the center of the corner, very easy for them to pull the air off the back spoiler of these next-gen cars. And once that happens, you're just along for the ride. Can't grab the throttle with as much confidence here with the pack behind you, because it will pull you around quicker than you can bat.
Grosso got a little tight in the center. 1 and 2. Now up the hill goes Fleck, and they bang doors up for turn 4. McKinney able to pull away, and Grosso moves up to 2nd. I have a good feeling that Grosso and the Duck Down Motorsports machine won't be too pleased about that.
Nobody's able to hang on to 2nd place right now, which is optimal for him. But watch right here, just sends it in, tries to grab the throttle. It's so hard to make that stick here with the car on your outside, though. And Fleck could have made that a lot worse, but rolled out the throttle once he realized he was in the door. So great heads-up driving there from the driver of the 9 machine.
That was just about an accident waiting to happen. It allowed Triplett to pull in just a split second. Fleck starting to pull away and just about gaining some ground once more on Grosso, but trying to make sure he does it a lot cleaner next time. Meanwhile, looking back, this is Justin Barkley in the 15th position. Barkley, one of the bigger movers in this race so far. He and Jonathan Nance each up 5 spots in this race. Ryan Fleck and Brian White each up 3. And as I say that as well, Brandon Puffenbarger in the 5. He's also up 5 spots.
Oh, and a big wiggle down there on that inside line for the 57 machine.
Yeah, a little bit too fancy on the loud pedal. Exit turn number 4. And Sheldon, you talked about a pre-race. This track does not have a lot of grip to it. So you better make sure you're saving that right front as well at the same time.
Absolutely, and we're getting a textbook definition of what dirty air looks like up at the front of the field right now, too. If you look at McKinney, he's able to run the stripe all the way through the corner, but if you look back at him, if you look back at Grosso and you look back at Fleck, you watch them get down to the center of the corner, they back the car up, and it still shoots up the hill. And the closer they get, the worse off they are. And that right there, that's just what the dirty air does to these next-gen cars. If you look a little bit further back in the pack, one guy that's never bothered by dirty air, that 54 machine, Chance Manning, trying to take over the 5th spot here from Angel Hernandez, but Hernandez ripping the fence here. Going to get the shot down the back straightaway, trying to pull away coming into 3. Is Wilson Manning very early on the downshift, by the way.
It looked like as well at the same time, too, that Manning got a little bit tied up, too, from that dirty arrow from Angel Hernandez, where Manning nearly caught the safer barrier into turn number 1, but the 54, just like the 42, following his line. And it looks like Hernandez, that last time by, was just trying to see if the high side was working out to his favor. But it seems like at the moment here, Sheldon, if I'm a driver, not only am I trying to save fuels, I'm trying to test out the tires here at the same time. They're trying to get as much grip as they can without using too much of it. It just seems like the bottom, the place to be for now.
Absolutely. You get up there on that outside line, you can really torch through those Goodyear Eagles quick. Doesn't matter what track, what car combination. That's just life on the service right now. So most guys, you know, they're going to have some longevity in their pace. They're going to be, you know, fading it down there to that white stripe and just trying to hook those left side tires, if not a little bit on the paint, a little bit up from it. As we look at our Las Vegas winner, Corey Crowell, out here working the outside line, trying to pick off some easy spots here.
He'll get the momentum. He'll get the momentum off at turn number 4, but Gavin stays clear of Crowell. Let's go back up near the front. Meanwhile, we got some pit stops actually happening, developing. Michael Gervey, the first to pit in the 13. I don't know if this is a scheduled pit stop or, oh, nope, I just looked. He's got some left rear damage on that number 13, and I think he was actually involved in something here, and he was a couple moments ago. We'll see if, I'll break the 4th wall. We'll see if we get a replay, but get that in a moment. But meanwhile, Caleb McKinney still your race leader. You're watching on your screen. This is the 2 car of Crowell, the 20 of Ammons. Watch the 3rd of Gervey dirt track this puppy off of turn 4.
Got way too high and wide there, lost the nose of the car, slid up the track, up into the fence, back down, and gets tagged from behind.
That was Garland in the 84. I think he tagged there at the same time. Keep in mind as well, no quick repairs for the drivers here in the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series. And so Gervey on pit road for a very long time while he repairs that next-gen body. This is the onboard with Garvey here. Look at that, how close that was to being disastrous.
That could have been horrible.
That's basically, to say the least, a Taco Bell moment. Code Brown.
Definitely a Code Brown, 100%. Hope he's wearing a brown fire suit.
Meanwhile, bunch of battles happening here. Triplet wanting 3rd from Fleck, but you've got the race for the lead still happening off for 4. Triplet, though, with the momentum of Fleck. Does he send it deep here into turn number 1? Fleck lets him have the corner. Triplet tries here. He holds his groove on the bottom, and the 74 machine breaks into the podium off of 2.
I'll tell you what, Grosso is all over the back bumper of your race leader. McKinney was about pulling him around with the air through 1 and 2, that last stab. Got a little bit tight there, though, in the dirty air. Slid up the hill, going to lose a little bit of momentum. So you look a little bit further back in the field. That 71 machine.
Part of the 3-wide battle there. It's alongside Peebles and I believe Dennis Kane as well.
And these guys right here, you know, sitting mid-pack, a little bit further back. These guys are, you know, everything looks calm and calculated from up here in the booth. But these guys are the ones that are panicking the most. They want to get up to the front, but right now the problem that they're facing is no matter what line you run, no matter what how you take the corner, you are stuck in dirty air, and you are pretty much equalized with every car around you. I mean, we've been watching it here with Corey Crowell. He was way faster than the machine up there in front of him. the 20 machine of Ammons, was not able to complete the pass on the bottom because the outside line is so strong. It is so hard to make it work on the bottom. You can pull up door to door, but you need them to make a massive mistake up top for you to be able to clear. And now you see the tires worn out on the 2 machine of Crow, now under fire here with the 18 of Brian White.
The up and turn 4, Crow will catch the wall there. Now the reason why drivers are using the high side is Homestead Miami, and he just popped it once again, the center. Homestead Miami is one of those unique tracks that has that aero cushion in the corners. Larson's is so good at finding that aero cushion, using it to his advantage. You have a bunch of drivers practice it on iRacing too from time to time. You're hugging that safer barrier, you can get a lot of speed through 1 and 2 without popping that wall.
Yeah, here, Auto Club, Chicagoland, I'd say Old Atlanta and Michigan are just a few of the tracks where you can really make that top line work like that. As we see McKinney just completely under fire here. And, I said at the beginning of the year that Josh Grosso was an upset at Daytona. I think he is. I think I've mislabeled him because that one machine has been one of the fastest cars week in and week out everywhere we go. And I think he might be just sniffing away from potentially getting his first mile and a half win this season.
You think that Grosso is trying to push, trying to force McKinney to push, or is it the other way around?
I think Grosso's just trying to snag this lead away from Kenny outright. I think he's tired to run around second. I think he knows that he's a little bit better in that 76 machine. I think he wants to get up there, get that clean air, and try to run away because he definitely has some heavy hitters breathing down his neck with Wesley Triplett and Ryan Fleck.
Past the halfway mark here to the stage break at lap number 40. Remember the fuel window, 36 to 39 laps. So it's either you're playing the go strategy or you're trying to save fuel here at the same time. It's very risky to go here too when you think about it, because if you have to pit before lap number 42 here, Sheldon, you're risking going a lap down at the same time, whereas if somebody wins the stage and they have to pit, it basically either traps you a lap down or you get the wave around and go tail end. Here we go for the lead. Grosso around the outside of McKinney. It's door-to-door off from 4. Do we have a new leader at the line? The answer is yes. Grosso to the point on lap 24.
I don't think McKinney's going to be able to hang, but he's going to send it deep into 1 and 2. Up the hill goes the 76 machine. About a quarter of a car length or width between the two of them. McKinney going to fire back on the inside line, though, and somehow steal it back. I thought it was over with the run that Grosso had up top, but I was mistaken. McKinney retains the lead here into 3 and 4. Grosso going to send it back up the track here and try to get to the quarter panel. He does. Now they're going to be a drag race out of turn 4 to the stripe. I think McKinney may have used a little too much momentum there on the inside, and it's going to hand to Grosso this time as we come back into 1.
At Grosso by just about a bumper. McKinney very aggressive in a turn number 1, but this time it's the one that may go in aggressive. High, wide, and handsome here through turns number 1 and 2, and it may pay off. McKinney, though, up the hill he goes. They stay side by side. McKinney trying to side draft off the number 1 Chevy Camaro. Does it pay off for McKinney? Into turn number 3, we'll just have to see what happens. Still a photo finish here possibly coming to the line as I say that. McKinney clears. Grosso, though, with the crisscross across the line. New leader again, it's McKinney.
Grosso at the bottom of the hill trying to send it in. He's going for a slide job here. Sends it deep through 1 and 2. Is able to clear. McKinney still up the hill. Here comes Grosso tracing it back up to the wall, and Grosso is going to take the lead here on the backstretch.
Grosso finally clears McKinney, but now McKinney crosses over. Bonsais to the bottom, but it's Grosso who slams the door right in his face. We're coming to 13 laps to go here in the stage. It's getting really aggressive. Meanwhile, checking out some other drivers here for the back on behind that I've seen that have been pushing at the moment. Barkley up 10, Puffenbarger up 10. Here's another race on track. This is Barkley and the 8 of Jonathan Nance. This is for a spot in the top 10. And Barkley's wanting to go here off in turn number 2. Around the outside, behind them.
Heavy contact.
Brian White. What a save the 18 makes.
I thought that was about to go through the catch fence there on the back straightaway. Brian White just about got to get a face-to-face look at the palm trees here in Miami as we see him slide up the hill again, almost into Nance.
This is good stuff here off of turn number 4.
I'll tell you what, nobody, I don't think anybody's really been saving anything here because this has been a barn burner all the way through the field here for this first stage. Another big wiggle out of the machine of White, chases it down the hill. Now he's going to fall prey.
Did White lose a lot of grip there after he caught the wall? What do you think?
I think right there he got put in a bit of an awkward aero position. It doesn't look, because I don't see him wiggling down the straightaway. I think the toe link is straight on the AT machine of White. I think that he's just angered those tires, and now he's paying the price for it.
On board here with White, driving in deep here for 12th. Got Nance as well, trying to hang on here for a spot as well.
One thing that was brought to my attention a few years ago that nobody ever really talks about much here on iRacing, but when you scrape that outside wall like that, you know, you're not just hitting, you know, the fenders and the door of the car. You are also rubbing that sidewall against an extra friction patch. That right there adds extra heat and pressure into the tires, and it can take you a handful of laps to really get the temps back down to where they need to be. You know, I heard Sean Conklin talk about it multiple times a few years ago during our NIS Open coverage, and there's some truth to it.
Of course, it kind of reminds you a little bit of course, let me change that. Of course, with the damage package that iRacing put in a couple years ago for the next gens, things have dramatically changed where you're not just damaging your body, you're damaging the tire, you're damaging the suspension, and a whole lot more to that. Here's Corey Crowell, low on Barkley, trying to fight back, but Crowell, I think he may be possibly saving here at the moment. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, Crowell hanging in here right now, just trying to lip it around here to get a good stage finish. So look up the front of the pack. Fleck working the outside line here, but here comes the 10 machine of Forns. We were talking about him saving early, and it looks like he's starting to wick it up when it matters the most. Just 8 laps remaining in the stage. Now back to the bottom into 1 and 2. Forns trying to make something happen here, and this is the most annoying part of the run. You're just about dead equal with everybody. They get up on the outside. It is so hard to make it happen, but the 10 machine going to get the job done on the backstretch.
Yeah, Ford's up to 4th. Angel Hernandez, meanwhile, riding on board with him ever since he spun the tires for pole. He's still stuck in the 6th position. Time to go to work, he says, up on the top shelf. Does he find something off for 4? He's got the lane on Fleck. The 9 gives him the top. And if Hernandez bursts his way past, the 5th spot is his with 7 to go rather in the stage.
You know, I've heard of an elf on a shelf. I've never heard of an angel on a shelf, though.
Meanwhile, in front of them, Hernandez working on Forns, who's working on both triplet and as well a lap car. That's Garland in the 84 at the same time. Now, how does Hernandez set this up, meanwhile, on the 10?
Right now, if you're Hernandez, you just try to keep the momentum in that thing. Try to get clean air to the nose. Try to run where he's not. You see the 10 machine sending it down to the bottom of the track. I like what Hernandez is doing right now, riding that lip up against the outside wall. It's going to give him a great shot down the back straightaway. Then if he can get a good enough run, he can cross him under. See him make it down to the bottom. I don't think it's enough of a run to make it happen. We had a huge surge at the end of the straightaway, though. Now down to the paint. Here comes the 42 machine of Hernandez.
5 to go at the line. Still Josh Grosso by 1.1 seconds on Caleb McKinney as it starts to get intense. In fact, they've both caught up to Triplet in the 74. Bottom step of the podium up for grabs. Forns and Hernandez are pushing. Triplet maybe fading here at the moment. We'll see what the 10 does off of turn 2. Gets the slipstream down the back off of the 74 and takes a peek downstairs. 3rd spot up for grabs here into 3 and 4, coming to 4 to go in the stage.
And a huge surge on the bottom line here for the 10 machine of Forns. He really did a great job saving tires. I didn't expect him to have this much of an advantage here in the closing stages, but I think that's going to be a car you're really going to keep your eye on once we get later into the evening. See him work the mid lane right now. A little bit more momentum, though, falling for the 74 triplet. The middle line, you know, it works, but it's probably one of the more difficult lines to really get cooking here at Homestead. Ideally, you want to be all the way down by the paint or right here straddling this first scene.
to the line here. 3 laps to go in the stage. Grosso still leading. Pit lane entrances are closed here as things stand. Triplet there, meanwhile, catching the wall, entering turn 1. Forns trying to pounce, trying to side draft, nearly hooked the quarter panel at the same time. Forns with a big run, and they're both catching McKinney as well in the 76, so this could eventually be a race for second here at the end. Forns has done a great job here. 2 to go in the stage. Now, as we enter the stage break, let me ask you about long run pace here as well, Sheldon. Being fast over a long green flag run means a driver can maintain position. How important is that going to be throughout the race, especially if we get long runs that lead to pit stops?
Absolutely crucial. Track position means everything here tonight. We see the 74 machine leading, but remember, this is the last lap for the first stage. White flag being signaled last time by out of 4. Across the line is going to be Joshua Grosso with stage 1 win. So wait for the top 10 to cycle through.
Yeah, Grosso picking up that. McKinney second by a 10th over Forns, followed by Triplet, Hernandez, Fleck, Manning, Ammons, Barkley, and Crowell. Your top 10, but it's Josh Grosso picking up the stage one as we head to break. They'll have pit stops, and then we'll come back to the green. Let's take a break here. Stay with us on Green Flag TV. Pit road is open. Everybody coming in here. Majority call here, 4 tires and fuel. See if anyone could possibly grab here some track position at the same time. So Grosso makes his way down into the box. 50-mile-an-hour pit road speed. Keep in mind, 45 plus the 5-mile-an-hour buffer zone. Looking good on the right sides here. See who maybe wins the race off pit road at the line, and give it to Grosso with a 1. Good battle for a second, and Fords edges out McKinney, followed by Triplet, Hernandez, Manning, Ammons, Fleck, Crowell, and Puffenbarger, the top 10. So now with these pit stops here, as I welcome back in Sheldon Atkins, it seems like here as we get down to the rest of this race, it seems likely that this could be a 2-stop race, unless anyone really saves big time with that final stint. Could be possibly a 1-stop race.
Yeah, absolutely. You're definitely going to need to come down here and make it 2-stop. Now, I really feel like if you try to go for the 1-stop, I mean, tire fall off is huge here this week. It might be close if you can even be competitive going for 1. As we see Grosso chase it down to the bottom of the track here, making sure that there's no confusion on which lane he's choosing on this initial restart.
Drivers are choosing here at this point. The choose rule, by the way, has changed. No more choose cone. Have to pay respects for it. Instead, we have a choose line instead. So as we get set here, lights are off. Give me your keys to this one for the rest of this race.
At this point, you just have to keep those tires underneath you. Try to save as much tire as you can while be competitive. If you're Grosso, you want to hang on to the clean air as long as possible. You do not want to get cycled back into traffic. You want to keep this car happy on all 4 corners.
So let's reset the field as we come back to the green flag. Josh Grosso selects the inside. He and Matt Foran share row 1. Caleb McKinney, Wesley Triplett, row number 2. Angel Hernandez and Chance Manning, row 3. Nicholas Ammons and Ryan Fleck, row 4. Corey Crowell and Jonathan Nance. That is the top 5. 43 laps complete when we come back to the green flag. With just under 90 laps remaining.
Oh, one car round further in the back.
That's going to bring a caution flag out here. You got the 44 Bogaski, 47 also sideways. That's Wesley Peebles. He rear ends the wall. Other than that, everyone else is able to keep things straight. But first natural caution flies here on lap number 44.
I was kind of worried. We saw wheel spin on the initial start with Hernandez, and you see that was not a fluke deal. I wonder if these guys might be trying to start in first.
Yeah, risking going in a different gear. And yep, back end comes out on at least the 44. 18 car also gets a piece of it. Other than that, nothing else.
And for Bogaski, that's going to be a trip down pit road. You know, it didn't look like he hit anything too hard, but you see a little bit of a wrinkle on that left front splitter. Going to want to come down and fix that if you can.
Right on
board here.
Says
second gear.
Second, yeah.
But you also can't.
Just got too much of the gas.
You also can't truly trust the iRacing gearing though, too, on replay. Sometimes it turns us into liars. But we're seeing right now that this track is a lot less grip in the restart zone than it has in seasons past.
Another look here. This is with.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, just this is a different accident. This was Peebles.
That right there was Peebles trying to avoid the slower cars in front of him. Try to chase it back down, avoid getting in the back of somebody. Does that, it loads up the right rear springs. It's run this independent rear suspension. Once you get that right rear spring load up, the car starts to snap, you try to counter steer it, then it just dumps all that load over to the left rear and shoots you head on into the fence. That's why anytime, we have a wreck, the biggest wrecks are the people trying to avoid the wrecks.
Couple of drivers topping off here on fuel. Ryan Fleck, Corey Crowell, Brian White, both walkers, Bogasket and Peebles. Wesley Triplett, I believe, one that also topped off on fuel too. Yep, he stopped on lap 45. Free pass here. I believe we'll go to Wayne Garland. If not, no free pass here. One driver out of the race and Michael Gervey. Garland did go a lap down before the stage yellow. So everybody's on the lead lap here at the moment. Hope you're enjoying live coverage here of Mid-Atlantic Racing Series, round 4 of the season at Homestead Miami Speedway. Reminder, next week while we're at it, we'll be going to Echo Park Speedway. But keep in mind, this is the legacy version of Echo Park Speedway, which basically means no drafting track, old asphalt, save, save, save. Save big tires at Atlanta.
And a lot of snap oversteer.
Yes.
It's going to be another thing we're going to see a lot of next week.
We've never seen the next gen cars at the old Atlanta, which is going to provide a lot of questions that will be answered on Tuesday. So Josh Grosso on the bottom once again with Matt Forens. That's row number 1. Caleb McKinney, Chance Manning, row 2. Angel Hernandez, Jonathan Nance, row 3. Nicholas Salmons and Justin Barkley on row 4. Joshua Neal, Austin Collins as the top 10 at the moment. 47 laps go up on the board this time by. And Grosso has the entire restart box to use. Back to green.
A lot more orderly here this time. Black flag being thrown for the 2 machine to Corey Crowell, though.
Yes, Crowell suffers a penalty. Nope, it was a choose thing. So He's been cleared of it, so no harm, no foul. Grosso holds serve. Forns challenging McKinney for second. We know how good the long run pace has been for that 10 car tonight, up 5 spots. Here comes Manning, meanwhile, underneath, trying to break into the podium.
And Manning with a daring move down to the bottom of the racetrack. Slides up the hill here side by side with the 76 machine of McKinney at the stripe. It's going to be McKinney by about half a car. Manning going to fall back in line, now cycling up to the top here to 1 and 2.
Manning hugging the safer barrier. Hangs onto it, didn't lose any speed one bit. He's right there on the spoiler. Catches McKinney nearly a bit sideways. Now the 54 tries the side draft in turn 3.
Down to the bottom of the track, going for the slide job. He's going to park it right off the nose of the 76 of McKinney. McKinney washing up the hill. They're having to check up and getting caught in the dirty air. Going to lose a little bit of momentum, but Manning moves himself up into P3 here at the stripe.
Hernandez, meanwhile, behind them, passes Nance for 5th at the line. The 8 car having to hold on here with Barkley, who is trying to rip the top of the moment.
And Barkley has been putting together a really good run so far here tonight. Just had to climb through deep in the field, sitting up here well within the top 10, 7th place, and it's just been forward trajectory of that 57 machine since we dropped the green flag 50 laps ago. He could definitely be a player in this thing if he can just get the track position.
Grasso continues to lead. He's really dominant as he took the lead from McKinney early in this one. New challenger could be coming in Forns. There's 9th place Joshua Neal. This car behind him a couple of tenths back in Austin Collins. Go ahead.
I think Forns has 100% been the best at maintaining his equipment all night. We saw him back up the pace really early in that last run, save as much fuel as possible. And in doing so, he also did a great job saving tires, and I'm excited to see what he's capable of here as he's actually got track position for the first time this evening.
Forns did not run with us at Daytona, but has run the 2-star start since. Best points performance was in week 2 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. See what he can do.
Another interesting thing out of Forns here, he's still got that thing locked up in 5th gear, not shifting down to 4th at all. And I've noticed Grasso up here at the front of the pack too has recently started following suit. So these guys up at the front definitely trying to save some fuel. Manning working the outside line there in 3rd. He's got that thing bouncing off the chip in 4th gear through the corner. Manning's not saving for anything, but 1st and 2nd place, they're pedaling a little bit here. Same with McKinney.
Seems like they're trying to stretch this long run possibly here and make this a one-stop race perhaps. We'll just have to see the strategy here. When pit stops come, can they make it to when the fuel window opens up? Challenge for 8th. Neal working on Ammons. Been better in these last couple of laps. And Neal put down a lap that was a couple hundredths quicker, and now tries the diamond 1 and 2, but Ammons stays clear for right now. Neal fighting back down the back chute. Can't side draft though off the quarter panel. Maybe Neal drives it in deep. Tries to do so in 3 and 4.
No, he's going to wash up a little bit there though. You see him get tight through the center. Lost contact with the paint. They make a little bit of contact here on the front straightaway. Neal almost sends Ammons up into the fence. Ammons keeps it pointed straight though, and everybody moves forward. Back down to 1 and 2 though.
Neal staying conservative for right now into 1 and 2. Was able to swap spots for now, but up near the front, Forns is a challenger and Chance Manning for 2nd. Behind them, back a look at Crowell and Neal. 82 not done just yet.
And Manning's giving it all he's got right now to try and get up here into this top, up to the lead. All over the back bumper of Forns here in turn 1. Oh, and he's trying to take the air off the spoiler of that 10 machine. Sent it way deep into 1-2. Lost the nose a little bit, though. Now it's to pedal it.
Back to this race for 2nd here. Manning still working on Forns here. Best spot that the 54 machine's been in tonight after starting back in the 5th position. Think it's now time for him to attack possibly.
And you got to attack. You got to be careful with it, too, at the same time. Still real early in the race. You don't want to cheese those tires off. How
have you, as Neal finally makes the pass on Ammons for 8th, How have you seen the track conditions change throughout the first 57 laps? What have you seen from your perspective?
Honestly, I'll be real with you. It's Homestead. You know, temps now sitting at 77 degrees. But as far as on track, I mean, it doesn't feel like, this place is very, very treacherous to get around on its own. On a cold racing surface, this place is slick. There's no grip anywhere. This is one of those few tracks like an anomaly. You could tell me it's 120 degrees on the track. You could tell me it's 60 degrees on the track. It never feels any different. It just feels like no matter what you do, this place is trying to fight you every second of every lap. And I don't see that changing here. But we do see a little bit of rubber groove being laid down here, up against the wall, down there on the bottom especially. And with that, it does change the handling of the car. Not 100%. But it's a slight difference that you'll feel as this race goes on and the track slicks up.
On board here with Justin Barkley in the 57. Now
Oh,
caution flag waves, though. We've got Nicholas Barton in trouble with the 24. Hard in the wall. Stopped in turns 1 and 2. And we're hearing that there was contact from behind from Shane Griffin, who just received an EOL penalty. Yeah, it just came up. Just hooked the quarter panel, yeeted him around.
Looked like he got tight coming into one there, right when they crossed over to early center, and it just washed up the hill. You lose the nose there very easy if you set it in a little too deep. And it's such a small margin of error. So right there, it just comes up the hill, and 4 comes down the track a little bit too. That's just 2 guys right there fighting for the same real estate.
Absolutely.
This throws a wrench into strategy here.
Absolutely. I was just about to bring that up with you here. What's the call? I think if you're Grasso and Forns right now, you stay out, but do you play maybe something different if you're Manning?
Man, it's Homestead. They were talking about these guys having to make a 2-stop strategy. I'm coming down.
Here we go.
I'm coming
Manning.
down. I'm getting 4 tires and fuel.
Ford's committing. The leader stays out. McKinney plays possum. Nance stays out. Hernandez and Barkley. That's the new top 5. So a mixed bag with the majority pitting for the fresh grip.
See the 10 machine of Horns getting the right side tires picked up. Crew moving around to the left now. 4 tires stop for the 10 machine of Horns. Race off pit road. Josh Neal.
Yep, Neal taking 2. I believe Crowell took 2 as well. Same with Kane. Forns taking 4. A mixed bag on pit road here too.
Oh,
the 2 tire call. The 2 tire call here. It's not a bad strategy here, considering we were 20 laps into that run. They probably used up like only 15 laps of their tires. So it's not too bad.
And the 3 machine of Austin Collins picked up a whole bunch of time there on pit road, but has to give it all back. Speeding penalty for the 10.
The rough break.
That's going to hurt right there.
Absolutely.
But if I'm, crew chiefing this thing, I like the call Josh Neal made there. 2 tires. Corey Crowell, same story. Handful of 2-tire stops. Josh Neal all the way through to Dennis Kane. So 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's a good call. You're back there mired in traffic a little bit. Come down, risk it. Take 2 tires. Hope that you get enough cautions. Everybody heat cycles a little bit. You see these guys run down to the bottom of the track here. Probably trying to... Oh, yeah, that's right. Choose cone.
Yep, drivers are choosing here. Grasso on the bottom. Now we'll have to keep in mind... Is 2 tires better than none? Is 4 better than 2? Is 4 better than none? Who knows what is going to happen here? But we're a couple laps away from approaching the halfway point in this race. Go ahead, Sheldon.
I'm so old school. I see everybody drive down to the inside like that, and I think back to when we used to have grass there, and people would cool their tires running through a patch of grass under yellow. That's instantly where the brain goes for me.
For me, that used to be yellow. After that was grass, that became all yellow. And when the champions did the burnouts, created some yellow smoke. It was so cool thanks to the paint.
Yeah, good times.
Anyway, Grasso the leader, Nance in second. That's row 1. McKinney and Barkley row 2. Hernandez and Manning row 3. Neil the 45 of Michael Smith in row number 4. Kane and Fleck round out the top 10. Back to the green. And Grasso is already off to the races. And let's watch the 2 tires here in Neil, who didn't get a good jump.
Oh, McKinney, a little bit of contact further back. Almost loses it, but saves it. Oh, no, it's still going.
Great
How
save
does he keep
for
it
the
under him?
76. And that's going to cost him a lot of time. The driver's on 2 tires, already passed him. 4 wide down the back chute. Everyone leaving room. Triplet with a shallow entry into 3 and nearly catches the 76. Wow.
Incredible. I don't know how they made it stick. I especially don't know how Triplet made it stick when he went out there and angered those tires so much. You see him send it down into 1 and 2. Gets up into the back bumper, the 8 machine of Nance. It de-wedges the car, about snaps around, chases it down to the apron. And honestly, I think it's the most impressive save I've seen in a long time.
Took the biggest advantage of this. Manning in the 54, 4 fresh tires up to the 4th position. Neil down in 5th behind them. Matt Ford's making moves on 4 tires. Underneath on Michael Smith, 9th position is his. He's trying to pull away from McKinney.
Oh, contact again for McKinney.
Touches with Brian White of the 18. This allows Triplet to go through and gain a spot.
Tell you what, it has been a rough couple of laps here for McKinney.
McKinney's got to shake it off, get the gremlins out of his system. But here's the problem, though. He's already lost positions to a bunch of guys that have gained a lot of grip. Here's the race for second triple threat match. Nance, Barkley, Manning, the 54 with the fresher Goodyears. High side for the 54.
And right now, Manning can't really do a whole lot. That 8 machine of Nance right off the nose, making it difficult for him.
Manning making that easy, and he nearly got in the back of the 8 as well. In turn 1. How does he set this up now? Behind them, Hernandez with a deep dive into 3 and 4. Oh, look at this. Nance gives Manning the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies off of the corner. Give it to Nance, though, at the line.
Manning racing with maybe a little bit of a chip on the shoulder here this week, too. You know, felt like he had Phoenix all but locked up, led a large percentage of that race.
That's the contact.
Yeah, it's a little tight there. But a bit of a late race scuffle takes the win away from Manning last week. Gets sat down in the hauler. Has to talk it all over, plead his case. Him, as well as the other participant, both being put on probation this week. Now he's looking up here, sniffing on the race lead. You know he wants to win this race more than any other.
Here comes Fleck now. Outside on Nance, trying to take away. Well, we got one off the pace as well.
Ammons.
Nope. Yep.
Oh, heavy damage to the 20 machine. You see the sparks fly.
Ammons, a driver who was in the top 10 throughout a majority of the race. And I think this was the same situation that happened to Gervey. Yep, got sideways, popped the wall, and that right front is completely gone.
Heavy contact. You see all the sparking underneath the car. Definitely some suspension damage there on that machine.
Also has a damaged diffuser, I believe, at the same time, too. Look, you can see how that was separated from the underbody.
Yeah, that's something Ajax won't clean off, as my mama used to say back in the day.
So Ammons has gotten on the pit road safely. Shane Griffin, we can tell you, has been on the pit road for a little while. Challenge, though, for second. Chance Manning's moved up a spot. Barkley as well.
I'll say one thing, man. What a great race we've had here so far. There has not been a lull in the action since we took the green flag 70 laps ago.
No, there is not. Absolutely great stuff to watch on the track without question. Watching this race for third still. Hernandez bonsais to the bottom here for the 3rd position. Can he grab this from Barkley off the corner? Slide job off for 4. Hernandez takes it.
Hernandez right now trying to make the best of the season. It's kind of started off with a handful of missteps, not quite what he's been looking for this year. This is probably the most competitive that 42 machine has looked since we left the O'Reilly cars last year. So Hernandez really wheeling it.
A slider there by the 9 car. He moves up to the 4th spot. Barkley now fades down to 5th. Fleck was one of those drivers as well that pitted for 2 tires last time by. So he's one of the better cars on the track. So the grippier cars at this moment here. Sheldon currently in 2nd and 4th, and Matt Forns in 7th. Wesley Triplett in 8th. Ooh!
Oh, up the hill, up into Hernandez. He's going to muscle him up.
Fleck with
Hernandez,
the boot,
great save.
Boogie through 3 and 4. Excuse me, for 1 and 2 rather. And let's see if the 42 remembers that here through the corners.
I think if I'm Hernandez, as difficult as things have been, I'm going to give a little bit of room here to that 9 machine. As you see him go all the way up against the wall, use the momentum to shoot him down the straightaway. So Hernandez in the good, but here comes Fleck looking up to the outside. He's going to give it a stab here.
I think I saw the virtual Tweety come out the window as well from the 42. Fleck, though, big burst of speed coming here off the corner. And now Hernandez tries to break the draft. Fleck with a run underneath here for P3.
And while these guys are wearing each other out, up there at the front of the pack, Josh Grosso is just saying, keep on doing it. Grosso pulling away from Manning, who is on the fresh Goodyear Eagles.
Yes, Manning matching race pace for the gap, 9/10 of a second between the top 2, but with how hard 3rd and 4th are racing. Barkley not able to close at the same time as they trade the 3rd position and keep on crossing each other over. Slide Job City here in the 305 of Miami. Hernandez drives into 3 and 4 deep. Will Fleck stay on him here off the corner? We'll just have to see.
I can't tell if we're at Homestead right now or Eldora, because this is about as compelling a racing action as you get here on the NASCAR circuit.
Meanwhile, a bunch of cars breathing down the neck of the 57. In the race for the 5th spot, Nance, Forns, and Triplett. All faster than Justin Barkley. Nance with a peek off the corner, still with Forns to the outside. Triplett, which lane does he go with? He follows Forns into turns 3 and 4, then Diamond's the center of the corner. Nance, can he get clear of the 10 and set his sights on Barkley? The answer is yes. Should mention here as well, too. Yeah, go ahead, Sheldon.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close to the pit window, at least where it's going to open up. The question is, though, if these guys are on the freshies, how long are they going to stay out here on the track?
Yeah, leaders pitted on lap. Josh Grosso pitted on lap number 41, and same for Angel Hernandez in 4th. Lead would go to Chance Manning, who has cut the gap down on Grosso, cut off a 10th last time by. This time by, lap was the same at 33.35. So yeah, I should expect them in about 5 laps from now, and would put them to the good. The window would open for them to all be good to go the distance. Actually, possibly maybe or not, we'll just have to see if they can save as much as possible. Remember, we were talking about this going into that yellow we had just moments ago, Sheldon. Could the drivers that stayed out under the stage break, could they stretch and try and get the window, try to pit when the window opens up on lap 90?
You've really got to play it by ear. You got to play it by the lifespan of those tires. You know, you want to get it right after the fall off starts. You don't want to come in too early, leave a little bit of extra life in those Goodyears, because you give up, you know, just a little bit of time here, a little bit of time there. It all compounds, especially when pit road's involved. And you know, you can be looking at a situation where you're sitting there 2nd place, you know, a second off the leader. Hey, you can miss time it bad enough to where, you know, you'll be about 4 seconds behind him at the line.
Now let's talk strategy here. If you're Chance Manning and Ryan Fleck, lap 60 was when you stopped. You'd be due up at around lap 100 or so. Do you maybe consider at the same time splitting this in half, or maybe even pitting on lap 90 or so, or are you waiting till lap 100?
You've got to go. You've got to go for a little bit of an undercut here. You want to go down pit red before Grosso does. You do not want Grosso to come down there with the lead, come back out with fresh tires and be able to strike. You want to have the advantage on him. You want to be able to get that clean air. You see how valuable that clean air has been for that one machine here tonight. It's just been logging perfect laps and pulling away on older stuff, mind you. And that's just how big of a difference maker having the front of that splitter clean from any cars in front of it.
We've been seeing Barkley get passed, meanwhile, by both Forns and Triplet with the better grip. Nance hasn't really been able to gain a lot of time on the 57. We now watch the race for fourth on your screen. Ooh, little wall contact there between Hernandez and the safety barrier. 50 to go.
Time running out here. The moves are going to start getting more desperate, too. See the time machine of Forns working the bottom here, trying to get to the inside. Doesn't get the momentum down the back straightaway, though. And here comes Fleck all over the back bumper of Manning. This is the battle for second.
Fleck can do, following the 54. This is a battle of what's better, 4 tires or 2 tires. And it looks like here, the 2-tire gamble has paid off here for the number 9.
Yeah, but I got to say, I think what's even more surprising is the no-tire gamble.
Yeah, Grasso's been able to increase the lead.
1.5 seconds now. He's running.
Yeah, picked up 2/10 last time by on the 54. Behind, you've got the battle happening for fourth. Forns and Hernandez. Triplet also becoming a factor in this as well.
Oh, here comes Fleck up to the outside quarter pound, the 54 machine of Manning. Manning had to pedal it out of the turn 4. Got a little loose there. Down to the bottom of the track here in 1 and 2. Manning going to try and slide it in deep. He's going to slide it here way up against the fence, but here comes Fleck to the bottom.
He countered it back off a turn 2, diamonding corner exit. Fleck with the launch off the corner. He pulls even with Manning. And does he go in deep into 3 and 4?
Down to 3. Manning got hung up on the hill there. Going to lose a lot of momentum. Here comes Fleck, and he's got him cleared with the momentum.
Fleck is gone for Manning. Puts the gap up to 2 car lengths. Second spot is his. Manning drives into 1 and 2 deep. Let's see if he can do anything without making contact, and he can't.
He got him loose there a little bit. The back end of the 9 machine got a little unsettled, but Fleck able to muscle through it and run away down the backstretch.
Fleck didn't flinch one bit in that situation, basically. Here goes Triplet behind them for 5th on Hernandez.
Down to the bottom of the track. Here comes Triplet. Not able to get the power down, though. Hernandez is going to be able to squeeze the throttle right up against the fence. Get a great run down into 1 and 2. Here comes Triplet taking a peek again. And Hernandez is just crossing it so close with that outside fence. I feel like he's probably going to mow it down here sooner or later. It had to back out of it. Almost got into the fence that time. Triplet got a great run. Able to hold even into 3.
Yeah, Triplet's been driving in deep. Hernandez trying to use the aero cushion to his advantage. In front of them, meanwhile, Matt Forns with some ground he's made up on Chance Manning for the bottom step of the podium. It's a drag race into turn 1.
Hernandez got cleared by Triplet there. Gave Triplet a little bit of an aero push down the front straightaway. Knows he's been beaten on this run. And look at how close Forns is. Looking down to the bottom out of turn 2 to Manning.
Good chance here into 3. Forns looking to get back on the podium. Finished, I believe it was second, if not. He finished second, if not third. Back at the stage break.
Forns doing what I was saying earlier in this run, coming to life when it matters the most. All the way down to the bottom of the track here in a 1 and 2. That 10 machine is hooked up right now.
That clears him. So number 10 ride. Back in the 3rd position. You see the stint. Drivers are due up for tires. Grosso 45 laps. Hernandez, Nance, Barkley, McKinney, just amongst the top 10 that stayed out underneath the last caution. They were the 5, I should say, that stayed out underneath that last yellow. So I think they can make this on a one-stopper.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one stop from here on out, but you look at the times there last time by. 2/10 quicker for Matt Fornes over your race leader.
Is it going to be enough, though, to get the lead and maybe even catch Ryan Fleck at the same time? It's got to make up just about a full second. Pit stops happening. Justin Barkley, the first to come in car 57.
If I'm Fornes, I'm thinking about maybe cutting way under here on this strategy. Try to build up as much of a cushion as you can. Got the faster car right now.
See if he considers pitting here in just a moment. Next guy I believe to pit this time is Jonathan Nance, as he signaled he's pitting in this time. Josh Grosso, the leader, on pit road to the 1.
Well, Grosso taking any opportunity out of the toolbox here for everybody else as he goes for the extreme cut.
Close call there, nearly hitting the attenuator there, McKinney. So the new leader here, Ryan Fleck, by just about a full second on Matt Fornes. You see the stops the bottom right. This is your leader for a moment for most of the race, Grosso. And it's without question, 4 tires and fuel is the call. Great stop, 14.5. Nance, though, better stop at 12.4.
Andrew Grosso, you just need to get it out clean here. Don't have any commitment line violations, no speeding. And you've had such a big cushion, you should be able to seal the deal here tonight if everything stays in pocket.
I'm seeing no flags on anybody. That's a good sign. And now Hernandez and Neal pit. Neal was one that decided to go with 2 tires last time by. Watch the stop for Jonathan Nance. Nance like to play the game here. No tires for the driver of the number 8. So he just filled it up with fuel. He could have gone 3 tires there.
Yeah, that was definitely a mistake. Just forgot to have the box click there for the 8 machine. That's going to be costly.
Dennis Kane now pits in the number 99. Back up to the front here with Fleck. Gap has been cut down by Fornes to 2/3 of a second. Fornes has the quicker car, but if he stretches this out to get fresher tires, what will the gap look like between him and Grosso? That is the question. We're going to have to find out in just a little bit.
Hanging on well up here at the front of the pack. Now, I'm wondering what these two have up their sleeve, him and Fornes.
Kind of wondering here, yeah, I kind of wondering that as well at the same time. Do they think that 20 laps or 10 laps or so, 20 laps of fresher tires is going to be the advantage here? Are they going to take 2, or do they maybe even stay out because it's only going to be just about, what, 20, 30 laps to work with?
Really interesting call. I thought the 9 might have been thinking about pitting there, but here comes the 10. Fornes on pit road.
So Fornes the first to come amongst the drivers that pitted on lap 60. He wants to make sure he is staying on the pace with the one of Grosso so he doesn't lose too much time to the dominant car of the day. We watch Fornes' stop at the bottom right.
I just felt like he maybe stayed out there a little too long, though.
We'll see what the Delta looks like off of turn 2.
I feel like that 10 machine really should have came down with Grosso if he wanted to have a chance at it. Now he's going to be, a couple seconds additionally behind.
It was a slower stop, too. I've got about by a 10th or so. I have a 15.3 on my end. Grosso a 15.2. Ooh, Grosso really pushing it off the corner on pit exit. So while halfway down the back, Grosso entering turn number 3. So the gap is 5.8 seconds, 15th and 16th. You don't see it on your screen there. Next to pit, Chance Manning in the 54. He'll forgive his second position. That'll go to Wesley Triplett at the moment. And now Fornes has to make up some ground with 5 laps of fresher tires. I just don't know if that's going to be enough to get past the one at Grasso. He'll definitely need a caution flag.
I mean, we saw, too, Grasso on older tires being the class of the field still, too. I just don't think anybody's got anything for that one machine. The only person that can take this away from Grasso at this point is himself.
You see the gap there in the last couple of laps. Reminder, it takes about a full lap or two to get the tires warmed up and up to pressure. You see that time Forns was about 0.06 of a second off. More drivers pitting. Smith is in, Garland's in, Barton's in.
And how about this season for Grasso, too? Started it out, big win at Daytona. You know, we always kind of, you know, in commentary, I think all of us put a little bit of an asterisk starting a season off with a Daytona win next to, you know, whoever won its name, because it is Daytona. You know, it's basically drawing your name out of a hat more times than not. But then, you know, comes back, backs up that run with a great run at Las Vegas. Had possibility to win the race. Things didn't quite work out with strategy. Go to Phoenix, another great run for the driver of that one machine. And here we are at Homestead. One of the most difficult mile and a halves on the circuit, and the track that really shows you who's got what, who's, you know, better behind the steering wheel. And we're looking at what has been a dominating performance out of that one machine at Grasso. Now he just has to be patient, work through this traffic here, let this pit sequence cycle out, and all at the same time hope that, you know, no yellows come up.
Ryan Fleck, meanwhile, still the race leader, up 2.2 on Wesley Triplett. As I say that, the 74 comes down pit road. So we're waiting on 8 drivers that have yet to pit. And I tell you what, do you think some of these guys here like Ryan Fleck or maybe a guy like Brendan Bogaski or Corey Crowell, are they trying to hope for a caution here at the moment in this cycle?
That's what you're praying for at this time. That's exactly what you're hoping happens at this stage of the game.
Ryan Fleck pits.
That's going to put Grasso back on the lead lap here.
So Grasso on the lead lap. Delta between him and Forns at 5.8 seconds.
Look at how much he's closing to your leader right now.
Last time by, Grasso put down a 10th last lap. I'm sorry, check that. Grasso, yeah, he put up about half a 10th last time by on Forns. So Brandon Bogaski, now your race leader in the dummy racing 44, here in third place, Wesley Peebles, now set to pit. And John Walker in the 94. So the third and fourth place drivers both make their way down pit road.
Another point of interest, too, would be, wonder what old Corey Crowell's got up his sleeve. Remember, he won the Vegas race with some of the most impressive fuel saving I've ever seen. Well, I think contrarian strategies. I think of the driver of that old 2 machine there.
There's going to be about 30 laps to go, or so we check that, under 30 laps to go when Corey Crowell pits. And something tells me he's going to try for a different strategy and not the 4 in fuel. I think he's going to take less fuel and try and hang on for track position, try and get that to his advantage. Bogaski pits, Crowell the new leader.
I think a little less fuel, maybe a little 2-tire fire. Make the most of the day at least.
Forns shaved a 10th off Grasso last time by. Gap though still at 5.7 seconds between the two. So 2 drivers have yet to stop. And based off the cycle here, if a yellow were to fly for both Crowell and Walker, I would have put them, looking at my notes here, probably about 14th and 15th on a restart.
Oh no, as many laps as a lot of these guys have done on tires at this point, I think a large percentage of the field might come down with if we do get a yellow. Some of the guys have stayed out late, they'll be staying out, but that's to get the wave around at this point. We look at Jonathan Nance right here, about to lose a lap to the 2 machine of Corey Crowell.
Nance, remember, made that mistake, took fuel only on the stop,
He
and
is-
it's just not worked to his advantage.
He is surely paying for it. Look at how much pace is lost in that 8 machine here.
Yeah, 33.93 last time by, basically backfiring underneath the number 8. We got some other battles here. Keep an eye on here too. Angel Hernandez, Chance Manning continuing to race for position. This is for 7th, and Hernandez starting to run away with that.
And Hernandez has put together a really nice, quiet, strong run here. Started the night off not the way he wanted to with the heavy wheel spin on the front row. Was able to gather it back up, though. Kept the car in one piece, stayed out of trouble, and just showing what he does best. Finally getting an opportunity to have a race, kind of just play standard from start to finish if he can make another 24.
Let me ask you this. If he doesn't spin the tires on that start, and remember, this is a guy that started from pole, how does his race look different? Do you think he's in front of the field, or do you think he's in a better spot, like a top 3 spot?
I think you can move him up at least to that top 3 range. What he does from there, it's all situational. I think Grosso's definitely had the best tire longevity and pace this evening, but I think he's up there in that podium bracket. But getting him out in traffic so early definitely hurt as you see Manning go at it with him.
Yeah, even caught the apron there going to turn number 3. Didn't pay off here. Corey Crowell still leading. 5.9 on Wyatt Walker, and Crowell will forfeit that. He pits now. Wyatt Walker, does he pit? No, Walker, the last guy to pit, with a 10-second lead on Josh Grosso. He is hoping that a 4-leaf clover is somewhere in that Camaro.
Yeah, if you're Walker, you're over the radio right now to race control saying there's rain in turn 3. You're seeing beer cans fly out on the track. You're seeing cars wreck. You're praying for anything to happen right now.
Here we go, another battle here. Forns
Walker
with company from Wesley Triplett for 2nd. And we haven't talked too much about Triplett being a front runner, but Wesley's got 6 laps of fresher tires he's trying to use to his advantage, as Wyatt Walker now is on pit road.
Triplett's also been good tonight. Good, quiet run for the 74 machine. A lot of pace to back it up this week. Definitely what he was looking for
at
after
this.
last week. He gets a bonsai move off the outside line, down to the bottom at 1 and 2, and he's going to blow the doors off Matt Forns here.
Trying to use Wayne Garland as the pick in that 84. Fords, I don't know what happened there off at turn number 4, was just trying to use the draft and just didn't see Triplett coming. And so the 74 ride is now up to 2nd with 5.1 seconds to work here on Grosso. Fords now just trying to fight back, and Ryan Fleck closing in at the same time here. Go ahead, Sheldon.
And Triplett trying to carve into this lead, but I think time's running out, man. 20 laps to go. That 5-second advantage, I just don't see him closing it in.
It'll be a must-need yellow. Just have to see what happens. Grosso, meanwhile, the leader. Under 20 laps to go. Reminder, next week, we are at Legacy Echo Park Speedway, the older version of Atlanta Motor Speedway. What should be a fun one will be round number 5 of the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series season with the next gens. Next Tuesday on Green Flag TV. Some upcoming broadcasts as well on the channel. We've got OMSRO happening now at Pocono Raceway, just taking the green flag moments ago. Wednesday, FSR is at Echo Park Speedway. CILSC is at Fuji International Speedway. The Beer League, we love this league. It's a random track they don't know until day of. We'll be in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. I believe I'm actually in the CIL for those winner. That's the Collegiate iRacing League. Wednesday night is the Sports Car Challenge. I'll be on the call for that Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. Thursday night, actually, correction, no, somebody else will be on with me. Thursday, I'll be on the call, correction, with Justin Prince for Collegiate iRacing League at Indianapolis Road Course with the Indy cars. There'll also be CCCS at COTA in Austin, Texas. Thursday at 9:15 as well. You've got Speed at Echo Park. If you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications for whenever we go live.
I gotta say, you said you're gonna be on with Justin Prince, and that That's a dream team combo for a producer, if I've ever heard of one.
I appreciate that. Yeah, Justin and I worked a bunch of broadcasts, had the big FLCC 500 last weekend. That was one to watch. That was one not to be missed. So,
Yeah,
Fords
Prince
and
is,
Fleck, meanwhile, go ahead.
Yeah, Prince, absolutely great. I've had a lot of opportunities with him on a kart chaser as well as grid vision, and we used to be teammates on one sim back in 2018, 2019.
Nice.
Somebody that keeps showing up here on the service, and definitely great person to work with. But up at the front of the pack right now, Grosso has run away with it. Everybody trying to pick up the scraps as we work through the field.
Give props though to Triplet. He's cut the gap down to 4.8 seconds on Josh Grosso. But yes, we are watching this race for third. Ford's at risk of losing a podium here to Ryan Fleck.
Oh, a lot of time lost up at the front there, about 3/10, falling into the favor of Triplet through 1 and 2 there.
Grosso must have had a tough time getting past Michael Smith, the 45, who would be the free pass car if we did have a yellow flag come out right now. Triplet running away with the set. Go ahead.
It's that outside line momentum that's really making it look skewed right now. You get to the end of the straightaway, and Triplet has closed a whole bunch of ground getting to the corner. So that bottom is really paying off for Grosso, and he has done a great job keeping those Goodyear Eagles underneath that Dr. Pepper Chevrolet as he leads us around to get ready to take us to 13 to go.
Other racing on the track. Let's go to 8th. Josh Neal, Dennis Kane. This is the closest battle we have. They both are on just about identical strategies. Give credit to Neal here as well. Sheldon started back in 14th. A little two-tire strategy to gain some track position, and now the 8th position in the witching hour of this race.
Oh, dude, that two-tire strategy was a game changer for Joshua Neal. He was back in the back, fighting for scraps the entire first half of this race. That caution comes out. He goes with a little bit two-tire fire, and it has paid dividends for the driver of that 82 machine. That's just taking, what isn't such a great day and just doing everything you can to carve and claw. That's somebody that's not, giving up here.
We go. It's Corey Crowell on fresher tires. That's a pass for 11th past Brian White. So Crowell trying to gain a heck of a lot more time here. 8/10 to make up on Brandon Bogaski for a top 10 spot, but still remains Kane up on Neal for the 8th position, but Josh Grosso, 11 laps remaining, going to be 10 next time by. The lead has been trimmed down a little bit by Triplet at 4.4 seconds. So if we do get that late race yellow here to Sheldon, we've got a race.
Oh, absolutely. I can tell you, I can promise you that two machine's going to stay out on those fresher tires over the rest of the field. If we'd have gotten a caution when he was leading earlier, he would have basically won the Florida State Lottery here tonight. Not quite settling in how he wanted to. A lot of time lost staying out as late as he did in the two machine, but Corey Crowell definitely chugging along here to potentially bring home a top 10 finish.
Should mention to keep in mind, Grosso, one set of tires left. Triplets made 5 stops this evening. I believe he's used all of his right sides. Ryan Fleck, I believe he's used all 3 as well. 3 stops, 2 for Matt Ford. Chance Manning, Angel Hernandez has a set left. Kayla McKinney has a set left. Not sure on Neal, Kane, Bogaski, and a majority on back. So something to keep in mind if we get that yellow and someone wants to take a set of right side tires to see if they get some extra grip. In the final laps of this one, we'll just have to see what happens. But 8 to go at the line for Josh Grosso. That gap now down to under 4 seconds over Wesley Triplet. He's got to make up basically a half second a lap, and it's just not working. Triplet's closing in a 10th a lap.
No, you're going to need some kind of a big costly mistake or a lap car blocking your race leader, Joshua Grosso, if you're Wesley Triplet. But I mean, You got to admire the tenacity. Triplet has put together a great run here in the closing stage and come out of seemingly thin air. We didn't really talk about him a whole lot early in the race. I did not have him circled as, potential second place material here tonight, but he's really brought it together when it matters the most.
Good mention as well, Ryan Fleck has passed Matt Forns for the 3rd position. And Forns may be under attack by Angel Hernandez in just a little bit, who just got past Chance Manning for the 5th position.
Say what's been a good night here.
Behind them, Dennis Kane, Josh Neal side by side at the line for the 8th spot with 7 to go.
Yeah, and these two right here, the 99 and the 82, have been battling for what feels like the last 120 miles, just door to door. But as soon as I say it, Dennis Kane's going to get a great run through 1 and 2 and pull away from the 82 machine of Josh Neal.
Try to use lap traffic as a pick. That's Garland again in the 84.
The night of what could have been for Wayne Garland. Got caught up in a wreck earlier, had to fix some damage, and has just kind of struggled ever since. He's looking forward to maybe going to Atlanta next week. Is that a little bit of damage I see on the 10 of Forns on the right side? Yes, it is. Right front fender. Looks like it's pushed in.
May have been from out some wall contact, so some aero damage potentially on that Helion number 10. And so, yeah, that may be what's cost him all this time, as he gives up another spot to Hernandez with 5 laps remaining.
So I think the Forns put together a really good run here tonight.
Yeah, give credit to Forns for the first 2/3 of the race.
Not how quiet a race has been too. Aside from a restart tire spin, we've been green flag. All night long. No chaos, no wrecks.
Yeah, it's just a couple of cautions here and there.
Through 3 and 4 and across the stripe. Take us 3 laps to go. Joshua Grosso hanging on now, starting to pull that lead back out. Back up to 4 seconds over Wesley Triplett in second. Just needs to limp this thing around 3 more times.
Dominant effort tonight for the number 1 car. Started on the front row. Basically has had the lead for the drop of the green flag. Has swapped the leads at times with other drivers. But has pulled away. He said, without question, the best car on the long run in this race. 2 sticks in the air, 2 laps to go for Grosso.
Hey, what? I don't know who everybody had pegged for a championship favorite this year, but you might want to go ahead and scratch their name out and put that 1 car up at the top, because Joshua Grosso is going somewhere this year.
Was your points leader coming on into the night, coming off of a 35-point night last week out at Phoenix Raceway. As the white flag flies, 1.5 miles remain for Josh Grosso in the Dr. Pepper number 1. Had a great night so far. Part of the Dunked On Motorsports team. They've had some good nights, without question. Through turns number 3 and 4, from the Atlantic coast of Daytona Beach, the palm trees of Homestead, Miami, Josh Grosso now 2 for 2 in the Sunshine State in style. He wins in the Mid-Atlantic Cup Series, first repeat winner of the season. Triplett in second, 4 seconds back. Ryan Fleck to finish 3rd across the line. Angel Hernandez in 4th, and Matt Forns rounds out the top 5. Grosso to light up some smoke here. We'll talk to your top 3 in just a moment. We'll step aside. Stay with us on Green Flag TV. Looking at the results here from tonight, Josh Grosso the winner by 3.9 seconds on Wesley Triplet. Ryan Fleck in third, Angel Hernandez fourth, Matt Forns in fifth, Chance Manning in sixth, Caleb McKinney in seventh, Dennis Kane in eighth, Corey Crow in ninth, and Brandon Bagaski rounds out the top 10. Sheldon?
Bring us home. 11th place is going to be the 82 machine of Joshua Neal. 12th going to the 57 machine of Justin Barkley. 13th place, Brian White, followed by Austin Collins and Wesley Peebles running at the top 15. Coming home 16th is going to be the 71 machine of Wyatt Walker with Jonathan Nance, John Walker, Michael Smith, and Wayne Garland running at the top 20.
Rest of the field here, 21st, Brandon Puffenbarger, 22nd, Nicholas Barton, all out of the race. Nicholas Ammons, 23rd, Shane Griffin, 24th, and Michael Gervey in 25th. Well, let's get set to go here with interviews. We'll see who we have in the waiting room, and we do have the top 3 set to go. Josh Grosso, our race winner tonight. Josh, a dominant effort for you this evening. What worked for you tonight compared to the rest of your competitors?
I mean, I was just kind of taking it easy and lifting into the corners to try and not load up the fronts too much. It was letting me kind of stay in that, like a half a lane off the bottom and let me cut down. Seemed like I was able to get a better run off of especially 3 and 4.
First repeat winner of the season. How much momentum does that give you now? I mean, I know it's early in the season, but how much momentum does this give you throughout the next, couple weeks so far?
Yeah, it's definitely still early, but it gives me a pretty good points position, so looking to keep that going to the chase later on.
Next week, we head to the older version of Atlanta. This was a tough race tonight on tires, but how tougher is it going to be next week compared to this week?
Oh, it's going to be so much worse. That track absolutely shreds tires.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
I just want to give a shout-out to my whole team. I know a couple of them didn't get great finishes, but the rest of them finished pretty darn well, especially Angel.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you go, Josh. Great job tonight. Congratulations on the win, and hopefully we'll talk to you again next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, Josh Grosso with the win, first repeat winner of the year. Runner-up, a great run, especially late in the going for Wesley Triplet. He's caught up with Sheldon.
And 1 week removed from probably the most chaotic night of the season for you, Wesley, leaving the drama with the Cactuses out in Arizona and bringing home a podium finish here at Miami. How's it feel? Can you breathe a sigh of relief?
Yeah, I'm ready to hit a pillow, man. I'm wore out, long day of work, early morning. I'm out. I'm about done. What's up, y'all? How we doing? Was it not that boring? Kinda okay. What we feel about the broadcast?
Honestly, it was a great race. None of the excitement that we saw last week. With, I think all of us in the booth, as well as everybody associated with the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series, is happy to have a nice, clean, just about flag-to-flag performance. But I'm sure you were absolutely worn out. How difficult was it to muscle these cars around this slick Miami-based speedway this evening?
Well, it's the same situation for me that happened at Phoenix. Like, I have a strategy, a line, and an idea of how I want to run the track that matches what I would do in like a Gen 4 or an Xfinity car, and it just don't match up with the fastest people ever. And I don't know. I guess I just need to I need to go to the lab and figure out how to run this daggum car. It kills me. But we had that we was trying to top up on fuel and one stop it and didn't want to have to be saving like everybody. I thought that might work. Caution killed us. But I mean, really, the car hooked up great. Like, there's plenty of grip on the track. Even when the tires was smoking hot, you could still, get it down there to the bottom and not fly off of it. The top and 1 and 2 sucked real bad. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe it's something to do with the fuel cell being, lighter or something. I don't know. I couldn't get the top of 1 and 2 to do anything really. But I mean, you got to just be smooth at Homestead as far as far as I know. I mean, it worked kinda for me and Fleck. We practiced a pretty good bit. You just be smooth and you normally fast. I guess I guess Grosso just smoother and faster than me and him.
Well, with a high wear, high abrasion track knocked out tonight, a great result. Second place coming home in the podium. How are we feeling going into Atlanta next week? Where it feels to me like you just have to do everything you do here times 10.
Yeah. It's a toss-up between Miami or Old Atlanta, which one's my favorite track. But I've never raced Old Atlanta in a next gen. I think that's gonna be interesting. Pretty excited to do that. I think it might be tires and axles and panels flying everywhere, but I think it'll be fun nonetheless.
I can personally warn you from personal experience earlier in Open this season. When somebody gets to your rear bumper in the corner, just do not hit the gas. That air loose is going to be a nightmare.
I know that's a huge thing in them Gen 4s and a little bit in the Xfinity. I ain't never experienced it in this car. Somebody can pack air on your left rear pretty good, and it'll eventually get you loose if you on the edge already. But
it is substantial in this car. I don't know how it's going to be with the fuel cell, but with the amount of diffuser grip we have to use in Open, if somebody gets to it, you're hanging on for dear life no matter where we go. They were self-spinning at Daytona last week because of it.
Wow. Okay, well, glad to talk to you guys again, man.
Yeah, buddy. And to round things out, who do you want to thank and shout out for the podium finish here tonight at Homestead?
Oh, shout out to the Dummy Racing Squad. Everybody showed up, man. You see my stack team? Yeah, we all came and raced tonight. They, for the most part, everybody jumped in and practiced a little bit through the week at one point or another. I think that helped us on pace pretty good. So shout out to my dummy crew. And then shout out to Corey running this show and not being too harsh on, what happened last week. I think he was fair. So thanks to him. Thanks to the admins. And as always, thanks to you guys. Green Flag TV, baby. It's goated.
So thanks for putting together a good race tonight. Looking forward to seeing what you're capable of next week at Atlanta as I get ready to hand it back on over to Marty to round us out with our race winner, Joshua Grosso.
Peace.
Appreciate Wesley for the time. Let's round up the top three here. Ryan Fleck finishing third. Ryan, the second half definitely looked like it improved for you. What was working out there for you tonight?
Oh, we just we dropped to the back because we realized that if this did go green, we were going to need to save about 5 laps of fuel on each run, and so we tried to just kind of pit when we could, take a little bit extra fuel, and then sit back in the back and save a little bit. So it kind of turned into a fuel save, but once that caution came out, then it kind of threw all that for a loop.
So basically, strategy for the night was to just try and save a lot at the same time here.
Most of the time, we barely were able to run that first run all the way to the end. If you were just kind of all out, you needed to save maybe a little bit or just barely. And then from then on, we have 90 laps left after that. So 45 and 45, and we're barely making the first one. It's all about just saving that little bit.
What are the positives you take away from tonight?
Honestly, it was a lot of good, clean racing. 2 cautions by cause, and it really wasn't anything egregious. One just spun out on the restart, and then the other, I think just someone got in a little bit too hard into the turn on a little older tires. But good, clean racing. People left room. It wasn't, no one was squeezing anybody. And honestly, it just came down to just getting in and out of the pits the smoothest. And I think that's what ultimately got it for Josh.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I'll give a shout-out, of course, to everyone on my team, Wesley, Brandon. Well, both Wesleys. Brandon, Austin. We got 3 cars in the top 10 tonight, and felt pretty good about it. And then, of course, you guys, thank you for the broadcast every week. I always rewatch it the next day, see what you guys are talking about. And Corey, of course, and all the admins for running the league.
We'll let you go. Ryan, great job tonight, and we'll talk to you hopefully again next week.
Okay, thank you.
That's your top 10, up to your top 3. Appreciate them taking the time. A reminder, our content coming up on Green Flag TV. One thing we did not mention yet, the Collegiate iRacing League Indy 500 almost upon us, February 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. One more driver will look to add their name to the list of drivers who will be able to kiss the virtual bricks at the historic Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Not only can everyone watch this race live on Green Flag TV, but any college student or alum can enter the race. If you want to find out how you can enter this event and win a share of the $100 prize pot, scan the QR code on your screen or visit collegiateiRacingLeague.com for more info. So as we get set to go to Atlanta, Legacy Atlanta next week, Sheldon, final thoughts.
I mean, this is just another great race here for the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series. Homestead always puts together a great show, but it always depends on the drivers. And I can tell you one thing, these drivers all brought their A game here tonight. You know, we saw incredible multi-groove racing, very little contact, and it comes down to strategy and just pure drive and dominance for Joshua Grosso tonight. And it all paid off well for the one machine. And if this is what he puts together here at Homestead, I think a lot of guys are going to go back to the drawing board next week when we go to Atlanta because, like I've said earlier in the interviews, everything that you do here at Homestead to be fast, you do that times 10 at Atlanta if you want to be good after 20. And we're going to see a lot of chaos next week, I feel.
And with that, we'll bid you adieu. Again, if you're wondering what's going on at OMSRL Cup at Pocono, we'll get you there on Green Flag TV in just a moment. But for that, it's time to say goodbye for now. Shout out to Dustin Allis working in Mission Control on behalf of him, and Sheldon Atkins, my color commentator. Marty Scala saying so long. This broadcast has been a presentation of Green Flag TV and the Mid-Atlantic Racing Series. Second win of the season tonight belongs to the driver of the number one. Appreciate you joining us. So long.